The 47th problem of Euclid. The 47th problem of Euclid, or 47th proposition of Euclid, is also known as the Pythagorean theorem. It is represented by three squares. Some Masonic historians describe the 47th problem of Euclid as something that connotes a love of the science and the arts, but that definition leaves a lot of unsaid. In this article, we'll shed more light on the 47th problem of Euclid. Our explanation will include the Masonic square along with Pythagoras theory. Euclid is known as the father of geometry. He lived several years after Pythagoras, and he continued the work of Pythagoras. Euclid focused mainly on the ratio 3, 4, 5 ratio puzzle. Some sources have it that he had to make a sacrifice of 100 cattle or oxen before he could solve the puzzle. Some other sources have it that the Egyptians had long solved the puzzle before he did. The Pythagoras theorem states that in a right-angled triangle, the sum of the squares on two sides is equal to the square of the hypotenuse. So, for a right-angled triangle with lengths of sides in the ratio 3, 4, 5, 5 represents the hypotenuse or the longest side. Squares of 3, 4, 5 equal to 9, 16, 25. 9 plus 16 is equal to 25. This is their favorite number because fallen angels, some of them, are chained in the second and fifth heavens. The first four numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, squares are 1, 4, 6, 1, 4, 9, 16. When you subtract each square from the next one, you get 3, 5, 7. Notice that 3, 4, 5 and 3, 5, 7 are the months that they begin the culmination to welcome their master, Satan. The ratio 357 is very important. The ratio represents the steps in Freemasonry. The steps are the exact number of brothers that form the number of master masons needed to open a lodge. 3 master masons, 5 fellow craft, 7 entered apprentices. 357 represents the steps in the winding stair that leads to the middle chamber. The 47th problem of Euclid is necessary for constructing a foundation that is architecturally correct as established by the use of the square. This is important to operative masons as well as speculative masons. The 47th problem of Euclid is the mathematical ratio that allows a master mason to square his square when it is out of square. Sorry, I shouldn't have laughed. In the old days, all wooden carpenter squares had one longer leg because they were created using the 3-4-5 ratio from the 47th problem of Euclid. But carpenters of today use squares that have equal legs. Perhaps they obsessed with square because of the New Jerusalem will be a cube square. How the 47th problem of Euclid is used to create a perfect square. It is important to know how to create a perfect square that has no errors. The 47th problem of Euclid is used for this. This is something that is very important to know for masons and other people involved in building construction. It has been important right from the time of the rope fasteners or rope stretchers of ancient Egypt who were also known as the Haberdonate. The Haberdonate were skilled architects that were often called upon to lay out building foundation lines. They were well skilled. They used mathematical calculations as well as astronomy to form perfect squares for each building. There is a historical document that was written in leather in 2000 BC that can be found in the Berlin Museum. The historic document talks about how those rope stretchers, rope fasteners, or habitonapte carried out their work. In those days, the cornerstone of a building was usually at the northeast corner of the building. The habitonate observed the stars and the sun and used this to lay out the north and south lines. The North Star, called Polaris, was specifically observed at that time. It was believed that the North Star was fixed in the sky. After they had laid out a perfect north and south line, they then used the square to create perfect east and west lines. For the foundation of buildings, the 47th problem of Euclid was used to establish the true east and west line, so the Hapitonapti could find a perfect right angle to the north and south line that had been established by observing the stars.